Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Unlucky Ones for Season 2, which we are calling The Unlucky Sons. It is played in Savage Worlds Adventure Edition using the Weird War 1 rule set. I had a mini stroke there. My name is Ryan. I am your DM for this season, and I'm going to pass it around the table here, and they can tell us all a fun fact about their character, starting with Peter.
Hello, I'm Peter, and I'm still to Ryan's right. Yes, I'm playing a character called Eugene Winkler. And a fun fact about Eugene, his observation is that, his dad gave him a Napoleon statue as like a memento or some sort. And we're going to France, so I can only assume that's bad luck. So he thinks that's an omen.
So he thinks that, or you think that?
He thinks that.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't have a France fact. I'm Michael. In directional relationship to everyone else, am straight across from Ryan. So I'm looking into
The whole
his eyes.
world does revolve around me.
It's true. And this table too.
Well, it's the gravity.
My fun fact about Billy Radsmith is that he grew up a street kid practicing medicine on the streets. He's not an actual doctor. He didn't go to like any very prestigious schools. He just practiced on the streets on his friends when they got hurt into like bar scuffles
He was an EMT though, right?
Yeah, no, he eventually went to go there, but he started.
I thought you were like, he just showed up and they were like, whatever, good enough.
They were like, yeah, you do it well enough, right?
Fuck it.
Hi, my name's Thomas. I play a character called Sammy Anderson. And Sammy doesn't like boats too much. He found out he gets seasick pretty easily.
Okay, so he's just been vomiting the whole ride over to France.
Yup. Do you do like in secret, or are you like a public vomiter where you'll go over like the
He
side?
tries his hardest to keep it in secret.
Guys, what is that noise?
I know he's a quiet vomiter.
Is there such thing? Is there such thing as a
I don't know.
quiet?
Like,
Just kind of walks up.
Vomits in a cup, throws it off the board.
I don't like that we're using my computer's RAM space to talk about vomit.
Thank you for following our vomit podcast.
next week we're talking about different
Next we'll
kind.
talk about bile. Anyway, back to me. My name's Ryan, yet again, your lovely DM or War Master is the unique name that they use for this one. And I do have another World War I fact for you today. So World War I is actually when Dr. Dolittle was created, because the author, Hugh Lofgren, didn't want to write to his children about the actual horrors of war that he was experiencing. So he instead decided to write these kind of goofy, fun little stories to teach them about life through his experiences, but not tell them about the bombs and blood and stuff. And that's how Dr. Dolittle came into creation.
That's very interesting.
I didn't watch
I would
the
never have
movie.
guessed that.
Me neither, but it's also responsible for Lord of the Rings, so I guess a lot of writers got stuck in World War I.
RDJ.
And they were just depressed. Like, let's make
Say RDJ?
Robert Downey Jr., he was in Dr. Dolittle.
Oh, I thought you meant World War I.
No.
I was like,
Then the
He's a time
guy,
traveler.
He was actually in World War I. The Iron Man movies were real.
if I'm correct, I think the guy that made Lord of the Rings, he wrote it because, if I remember correctly, he wanted to make a world that was not torn apart by war.
and then he also, I will say to a point though, he did say that he wrote it to be happier,
Oh, absolutely.
so that the heroes
Always
could win without, not that they would always win, but that they wouldn't win with massive losses. Because if you ever watch Lord of the Rings, I think like 3 named characters died.
Yeah, I don't think very few people.
All the
Boromir.
extras, though. Bye-bye.
Well, they don't count. They're,
Yeah.
they're fodder.
There's like
Well, it's
20,000 orcs that are dead. Like,
Well, orcs don't. Whatever. Who cares? They're born in like a little bag or whatever.
no, they're born in the dirt bags.
They're dirt bags, literally.
No, I didn't say. You said not me.
I think without further ado, let us hop on the ship over to France. So, as we left off the last session, you guys were just hopped fresh onto the boat and headed over to France, where you will be serving out the duration of your tour. As we left off, I believe I described how, after months of travel, the fog has finally parted, and you can see the beautiful coastline of France, and you can actually see a port city that you are pulling into right now, that I'm going to butcher the name of undoubtedly. It is Saint-Nazaire. Saint-Nazaire. Saint-Nazaire.
I don't speak French. That sounds right.
Io parlo no francese. Io parlo italiano.
Impressive.
That's the only phrase I know.
Wrong nation. But
They'll figure me out.
so yeah, you can you get that salty spray of sea air as the morning kind of breaks finally, and you can see over to the port where you can see the large dock that is kind of prepared for you guys to land. If you want to say anything to one another, this is your time.
Billy, where's Sammy?
Right here.
Oh, Sammy.
I'm right in front of you guys.
Very much sick,
Oh.
so he might be like off the side.
Am I a ghost? Like, I'm right in front of you.
Damn, that sucks.
Yeah,
Fuck.
I did get a small chocolate, and I was gonna give some to Sammy, but he's not here right now.
I'll keep this. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Actually, I should probably eat this.
No, it was rations, but okay.
Rations?
I'm all out of
Chocolate?
food.
No, I'm gonna starve.
Oh, there you are, Sammy.
I've been here the entire time, guys.
Oh,
Oh, well, here, I got you some chocolate.
Oh, cool.
don't eat them all.
Put it in my pocket.
So, as you're having a weird time teasing Sammy about his whereabouts, Sergeant McAllister, your commanding officer, walks over to you and he goes, "All right, boys, we'll be landing within the hour, so head to the lower decks, gather your belongings, and we will go after we port, after we dock, we will head across the city. There's an American outpost on the other side that we're going to go meet up with everybody. So 20 minutes maybe, so gather your stuff."
Yes, sir.
And then he'll kind of walk off towards the what do you call that, the bridge, top of the ship.
Oh.
Hey, there's a dolphin.
Uh,
I think. I don't know.
Are you already going crazy?
is there?
I hope. Is there?
Like, how? How are you going crazy
I don't know if
already?
there are dolphins off the coast of France. Fuck, I look like a
That,
geologist.
and to be fair, I
geographer?
don't think they would be too
Bi-
fond
No, a
of.
biochemist.
To be fair, I don't know much about
oceanologist?
ocean life, but like, I don't think they would like explosions.
What?
What?
Oh,
No,
explosions.
I was also confused.
The world revolves around you, Ryan. Is there dolphins?
No.
Sorry. See
Oh, no,
Mirage.
there's a dolphin. I see it. So I'm going to head to my room to get my stuff.
You do.
Okay, so you guys kind of take a moment to gather all your stuff. Luckily, it's not much.
It's not much, but mine's in disarray. So, like, they'll show up, and then I'll be, like, 2 or 3 minutes behind them.
Yeah, so you two, more accustomed to the army life, especially after you helped Eugene on the first day there prepare himself. He's now learned how to make his bed. He's now ready to go. Your buddy Billy is still falling behind on maybe the more fine points of army etiquette, but he is at least waking up on time. So
That's true.
that's a bonus
That is true. And I'm calling people sir now.
most of the time.
Most of
Not me.
Well, yeah, he's not gonna call you.
Sir Winkler?
Eh.
It sounds like a night, like a really cheesy
Very
night.
Sir Winkler, please escort me to my quarters.
Yes.
Sir Winkler the second.
All right.
So as you as the boat docks, you will land, and you will see kind of off the side of the docks, not in the way or anything, but like kind of to either side of the dock, there are lots of onlookers, lots of people kind of cheering, shouting stuff in French, which I don't think any of you speak, and kind of welcoming you guys. You maybe can't tell exactly what they're saying, but you can tell that their tone is very positive and welcoming, as they're all like cheering, waving scarves and shirts, hands up, throwing it back.
I think they worship as Scots.
No.
And so, yeah, then Sergeant McAllister will be like, "All right, follow me." As you kind of head down the ramp and through the crowd, the people are throwing flowers and, well, really a warm welcome to the country of France.
God, I love France. This is
Is
great.
this what war is?
Yeah, is this war? Holy shit, I need
Wow.
more of this.
I never knew this is what it would lead to.
Abandon onto dress to son. Anyone?
What'd you say?
Huh?
So you speak Chicago to somebody and they don't understand.
That's Chicago.
Chicago.
And as you're walking through, you can kind of see the buildings are these large concrete, old-looking kind of courthouse-type buildings. They have metal balcony railings, not dissimilar to New York or Chicago. That you can see more onlookers on these, kind of staring down at you as you walk through, not like ominously, but like happily. They're waving, they're cheering, waving their flags and scarves and such. You see a couple of like young children waving like little American flags, real welcomingly.
I'm waving back.
America.
Okay,
I'm like actively like, I got like both hands in the air, like, hey everybody.
I'm wide-eyed. waving.
Okay, so you guys are kind of waving at the overwhelming presence of these civilians who are welcoming you to Saint-Nazaire.
I'm just gonna open fire.
And like a true American.
Yeah,
I'll show you what my country's really like. Where's in your
Sergeant McAllister will kind of be like, don't get too wrapped up in it. It happens every time. They're just grateful to have help. And as he kind of guides you through the street, you'll go through the downtown part of the city. The city is mostly, from what I could find of maps, kind of forked by like a big crossroads in the middle. So there's kind of two main streets that meet in the middle. There's like a central square, and then it kind of goes off in northeast, southwest. The American embassy would be on the north side, since the east side, since the port's on the west side of the city. So you guys are kind of walking straight across the city. As you go farther in, there's less of a welcoming party. They're not like mean to you or anything, but the performance side of it is over. You see tons of little shops, little restaurants. You can't read any of it because you're not French, but it's a lot of different. It's a city. It's what a city looks like.
Working class.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's kind of a nice area, but they're not like super rich or anything. And so you'll kind of walk your way clean across that, and as you do, you finally crest the last little hill that is on the east side of the city, and you see what is a large building that has American flags on top of it. As you are approaching, you see a man in his uniform. It's an officer's uniform. And he says, "Welcome, gentlemen." I can see Delta Squad leading the pack as always, and he kind of walks forward and extends a hand to your commanding officer, Sergeant McAllister. They shake hands, and your Sergeant McAllister says, "Gentlemen, allow me to introduce Staff Sergeant Phelps, who is our leader of Delta Squadron. I had mentioned him back in boot camp, but I had mentioned that he was overseas. This is where he has been."
Nice to meet you, bro.
And he goes, "It's nice to meet all of you. Thank you for thank you for joining me, frankly." He goes, "I guess you didn't have much of a choice." But
I actively tried not to be here.
I signed up.
he goes, "McAllister hasn't given you too much trouble, I hope," as he kind of like shoves him, elbows him.
No, I call him Allie. Is great. I don't call him that.
McAllister
I'm sorry,
definitely
sir. I'm
side-eyes
sorry,
you.
sir.
When did you call him that?
Well, I'll tell you later when you're older.
He'll be like, "Okay, what are your names?"
Private Eugene Winkler, sir.
All right, very formal. You?
Billy Redsmith, man.
Nice to meet you. You?
Private Smith. Wait, Anderson.
Wow, son, you
Sorry,
had a little seasick there.
Yeah.
He's nervous.
It was it's a pleasure to meet all of you. My name is Jonathan Phelps. I am your commanding officer's commanding officer. By default, I am also yours. If you ever have any questions, need anything, I am your point of contact before you start getting into upper command. I do not recommend you approach upper command directly. It's probably not a good idea. So if you have anything, bring it to me or your staff sergeant or your command. If you have anything, bring it to me or your direct sergeant, and we can help you out.
I got you.
So-
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Sir.
You're good. Where are you all from?
I'm from Chicago.
The Windy City, as they call it.
I thought they called it the Golden Bridge City, but yeah.
Yeah, well, it's I've been to Chicago a time or two in my younger years. I used to tour around the U.S. a bit with the Army on the recruitment drives.
That's awesome.
They had a weird dish there that I don't quite recall. Reminded me a bit of Basic, though.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
It's a really good dish.
Yeah, it's unique.
My mother used to make it.
It's unique. What about you there?
Rhode Island, sir.
From Rhode Island? Whereabouts?
Closer to the coast, sir.
Newport?
Newport.
All right. Good man. Newport's a very nice area. We used to stop in, but a lot of college-bound boys in Newport, so it's hard to get any recruits from there. Mostly we went there for like fundraising and that kind of stuff. I'm sure you were college-bound as well before you ended up here.
Yes, sir. There's plenty of recruiters out there.
Yeah?
Recruiting.
Yeah, there
Yes,
are.
they do.
And you?
West Virginia.
Whereabouts?
Small little town, kind of like more like near the big coal mine population.
All right. Well, I can't say I've been out that far into the heartlands. It's more of the southern district. I was more the northeast.
really it's like a one road town type deal.
Well, glad to have you all. It's a very kind of, always good to meet my soldiers, especially the ones under my direct command. Any questions for me? Any thoughts? Anything you want to know?
Do I have a room?
Do you have a room?
Yeah, is there
No,
like a room here?
son, you got to sleep in the cobblestones. Nah, I'm joking. Yeah, you have a room.
Oh, good.
Your spot's in the outpost. You'll spend the night here. And as he's kind of going, you'll hear a woman, which I'm not going to do a woman's voice. You'll hear a woman call out, Phelps, come fill out your report. And then he kind of like turns a side eye over there. And as you can see, there's a woman in like almost like a black pantsuit, not quite like pitch black, more like a navy blue, I guess. She has curled black hair and brown eyes. She is very impatiently staring at Staff Sergeant Phelps. He goes, all right, duty calls. I'll catch up with you guys later. And then he'll kind of turn to walk off.
Bye, Phelps.
She was cute.
What?
The late
They were both kind of cute, yeah.
guy.
What do you say, boy?
Turns his head a little bit. Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess we got a little bit of time, right?
Sergeant McAllister will turn to you, and he will say,
Fuck, damn it.
he goes, follow me. I will take you to our home for the night. So he kind of guides you through the outpost. It's just like a government administration building. So it's a big stone building. And up on the second floor, you see what are offices that seem to have been repurposed into like a makeshift barracks. He points you to 4 cots. He goes, this is your bed. It's no plaza, but it'll work for the night. And it's probably nicer than what you'll get when we get to the trenches. He goes, so from here on out, you are, as by this moment, dismissed. You can do what you please. You can go eat. You should rest before we head out to the trench in the morning. You are free to come and go from the base as you desire, but your weapons must stay here. And then most importantly, stay out of trouble. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes,
But,
sir.
sir.
Dismissed. And then he'll kind of turn his back from you and walk down the hallway.
Joke's on him. I never had a gun anyway.
So you all have a gun for sure.
I gave mine to Winkler.
I have
He
two
has
guns.
two.
Yeah. He seemed like he would get more use out of it than I.
I'm a dual wielder.
Okay, well, so we have some. My previous point, we have some time.
Food.
What time of day is it?
Food.
I wanted to food. I mean, I'm down with food. I was gonna say I wanted to go like talk to some of the people
What
that
what
greeted
time of
us.
day is it?
So it's kind of mid-morning at this point. You guys landed early. I figured it takes not a couple hours, like an hour or two to get off the boat, whatever the word is. Disembark.
Yeah, that's a
Disembark
big
off
word.
Disembark off the ship and get your gear together, move to the embassy, have that conversation with Phelps, see him get yelled at, and all that.
I thought disavowed. Just say
It takes a while to get disavowed and lose your rank.
I got disavowed to France.
Speed run. Dishonorable discharge speed run.
I'm gonna live here.
Yeah, so you guys are free to move around the city of Saint-Nazaire and do what you want. It's just you can't bring your guns.
Okay, that's I
Or
mean,
your weapons, more specifically, so any weapons.
I'm cool with that. Yeah, I'll go put my weapon away, and then I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna go sample the local food and talk to some people.
You can't speak French.
They seem to understand Chicago. They seem to understand Chicago very well.
Now, from my perspective, I don't understand it either.
Listen, man, you can remain locked inside. That's
I'm getting food, but
well, that's what we're gonna go do, right? Let's go to the city.
I have a better idea. How about, since we're in France, wouldn't there be like a translator on base you might just have come with us?
Well,
I like that idea.
yeah. If you guys want to find him, I'm gonna wait here.
I'm gonna go find
until
him.
we go. But you guys go find a translator.
You find him. I'm gonna go with him.
Okay, I'll go find a translator.
So you just kind of walk around the base for a while. There are several soldiers who speak French, but there's not like a guy you can just order to come with you, especially
like-
since you're a private.
Well, yeah, no, like it's like usually back in then they had like French people who would be speaking English to translate.
So yeah, you don't find any random French citizens either.
So like I'm gonna walk up to a soldier that like looks like he's been there for a while.
Okay, so you see a kind of rugged-headed corporal sitting over there, smoking a cigarette, reading a newspaper.
I'll just like walk up. Excuse me, sir.
Huh?
You speak French by chance?
A little bit.
Would you mind helping me come to town so I can just buy some stuff, sir?
You can buy stuff here, and he points to the commissary building.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna go
not
there.
my job to babysit you.
I'm just gonna go there.
Okay.
So after like 15 minutes of him not returning, I'm gonna look at Winkler and go,
Let's go.
"Yeah, I think we should go eat."
He got lost. Or
Okay.
went without
So
us.
what are you getting from the commons? Just food?
Well, what's there? Like,
I mean, it's like a gas station, pretty much. Just no gas.
he's gonna buy a little journal.
Okay.
He's gonna start his own little diary type thing.
Okay.
And then he's gonna buy a like what's popular in World War One.
So you get some convenience items.
Yeah.
And you kind of roll back. Does he smoke or anything?
No, not right now.
Okay. So then you probably get like a journal, some candy, some just normal
Yeah,
convenience
and he'll
items.
just head back to his bunk for now.
So yeah, you kind of gather these items and return to your bunk for the night. You'll see your other half of Delta Squad, which was those 3 privates I had mentioned from Basic, whose names I have for you right here. You have Private O'Connell, you have Corporal Reynolds, and you have Private Hughes, who are all in there. Private O'Connell and Private Hughes seem to be playing some kind of board game. And then Corporal Reynolds is still just reading that book that he's been reading since Basic. And Sergeant Sullivan's not here anywhere.
I'll go walk up to the 2 playing the board game, see what they're playing.
So they're playing chess, unsurprisingly.
I'll watch them.
Okay, you watch. It's a pretty not close game. Private Hughes seems much more intelligent than Private O'Connell, so he's kind of just flooring him. But he's doing that thing when you're like way better than somebody, where you intentionally do a little bit worse just so they don't give up, because he feels like no one else will play with him.
Don't call me out.
I'll play.
And you can never admit it, or you sound,
I'll
you sound
chime
bad.
in. Like whoever wins, I'll play.
All right, so Private Hughes wins a 4th time in a row, and he's like, "Oh, okay, you want to play?
Yeah.
You know how to play?
Yeah.
Okay, so roll battle skill for me."
I don't even think I have that.
I think Eugene would be really good at this.
Well, for you, it's going to be an athletics roll.
5.
So he got a 6. So
Oh.
he beats you in a. You're pretty good at it for someone who doesn't really know much about chess. But he beats you in the last minute with a sneaky queen on the back row.
That was a good game.
And he goes, yeah, I'm glad you liked it. Anyway, I
Did you just get off doing that?
oh yeah, glad you liked it. No, I should probably go eat. Probably.
I'm gonna look around and see if if I could spot something wrong with him.
So you want to see if there's something wrong with him?
Like, cause he's been acting that way since Basic.
I mean, you get a feeling maybe he's just quiet.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
And Michael's perverted.
Is there something wrong with you, man? Why aren't you yelling?
Why are you happy you won a game of chess?
All right, yeah, take it easy. Yeah. And so he gets up and walks away from the board to go eat. You two have decided to head out to the town. Are you doing anything else on the base camp before you leave?
I'm just down to head to the town for now.
Are we wearing uniforms, deal, or we
Yeah.
got like
Yeah,
more
wear it proudly.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
I
don't have to wear your full like dress clothes, but I mean, all your clothes are uniform.
All right,
You can't like blend in.
I'm a stud. I say it openly, looking at.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Flare the
Actually, as a
collar.
matter of fact, I'd probably I'd straighten the collar out and be like, "You are looking fine, my man."
You are too. I don't know why I said it like that.
Thank you. Don't touch my collar.
I was touching my own, but
So yeah, you guys head down to the city of Saint-Nazaire. You can walk around. As you probably imagine, everything is in French.
Which place smells
Crocs.
the best, like food?
Maybe notice roll for me. Okay, is there a particular? You just roll for me. Just don't worry about it.
Well, knowing French, knowing the amount of French I know, as Billy, I'm looking for the smell of bread. 4 or 5.
All right. You see a so 5. So you kind of lift your nose and start trying to sniff, and it's no Chicago slop, but you do get a good garlic basil-y kind of smell coming from down the way a bit.
Oh, it's the Chicago bread I'm smelling. Okay,
You get the feeling there's like a bakery up the way. You can smell kind of the bread and baking.
okay, yeah, I'm gonna lead us there unless you got anything to say against that Winkler.
oh, it smells pretty good. If I smell it, I think I do. Yep, I smell it.
Okay, yeah, no,
Winkler's been hallucinating vividly since you arrived in
I think
France.
it's all the
I
vomit.
think you need
on
to
the
eat something,
boat.
man. So you head over to the bakery. Inside, you see a rather old-looking French guy. He's got one of those little newspaper cabbie type hats, and he kind of looks over the counter. He goes, "Oh, Americans."
Oh, do you speak English, sir? Well, nice to meet you.
You as well.
Well, I'm going to say I am tired and also hungry and willing to pay, but
Those are the prerequisites.
To enter my shop, you must be these things.
Are you living in your
What
shoe?
would you recommend? Because there's a lot of good-looking things in here.
He says, well, this baguette. And he takes out a baguette. He goes, that's good. There's these. And he pulls out like these giant roll-looking things that I don't know the name of because I'm not French.
There's so much bread.
He pulls out like 9 or 10 different types of bread. And he's just like, pick one.
The baguette is crispy.
Yeah, okay. Winkler wants the baguette. We'll take the baguette.
Okay. And he gets one out for you. He kind of wraps it in the bag and passes it over the counter.
Oh, thank you.
What do we eat it with?
Your hands?
Is your friend stupid or?
No. Not the
I
utensil.
think he's. What's his problem where you?
Is it the main dish, or do we have like a side dish we dip the bread in?
So I'm gonna
Did you
start.
purchase a side dish?
I'm gonna go.
What do you recommend?
Thank you. I'm gonna like grab Winkler by the back of his collar and be
Wait,
like,
I want the oil.
Let's go. I'll talk to you later.
Au revoir.
I had that.
So you guys kind of walk out of the bakery.
Well, here you go, Winkler. I'm gonna split the bread.
Insert crack noise.
Okay, so you guys split this baguette. You're gonna sit on like the sidewalk.
Yeah. Maybe like just see what's around, see what people are.
Just gonna roam around.
I'm,
Make a notice. I guess you're just kind of looking, right?
Yeah. I'm looking around at a 4.
Okay. Out of 4, you notice some stuff. You do see one peculiar sight,
Ooh, okay. I like peculiar.
which is what appears to be an American soldier. And he is tied up in a jacket that looks like he is not meant to move once they put it on him.
Like straight jacket.
Yeah.
Interesting.
As he's being wheeled towards the ship.
Fuck, all right.
what is
Wait,
that?
who's wheeling him? That's my
Other
question.
soldiers.
Oh, okay. So like our people.
Yeah.
Fuck. All right. Hold on. Let me get up. Time to use my not doctor knowledge. Time to go. I'm gonna go over there.
But the bread. That looks interesting. Put the bread down.
You put the bread
You're
down
gonna-
on the
you're gonna
road.
walk with the bread.
So
So,
I'll walk with the bread.
so Billy Ratsmith with the bread walks over
So
to the
you
guy.
kind of like lay it on the sidewalk, and you're like, "Wait, no, I could just take this."
So I'm
Inventory
gonna
item
go over
acquired.
to the strange sight.
So as you kind of go towards it, you see the soldier is kind of like shaking aggressively, not like, like almost vibrating, kind of like he's seizing, but he's conscious.
Oh, okay. Oh, stop that. We look at the 2 soldiers that aren't shaking. And
Yeah,
say,
well, they seem, not so surprised, I guess. They're just kind of walking him through. And the shaking soldier's like, they keep coming, they keep coming back, they're coming back. And then the other 2 are like, all right, buddy, take it easy. We'll get you home.
Okay.
What?
So I'm gonna ask the 2, be like, what's up? What's up with him?
So one of the soldiers who has kind of a cross designating him as a medic, it goes, oh, shell shock.
Well, makes tons of sense.
Yeah.
Why?
All the loud noises from the artillery, I guess, gets to you after a point, and you end up like this.
Well, I'm sorry to hear. How long has he been like this?
A few days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're gonna send him back. He's obviously been discharged, so we're just sending him back home.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna look back at Winkler and be like, how far away from the city did this take place?
Front line, only a few miles.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm gonna like shake out of the not confusion, but like sadness, and then I'm gonna be like, all right,
Melancholy, if you will.
Yeah, melancholy. There you go. Look at you having all the words that I don't know. So I'm gonna be like, okay, and I'm gonna say, have a good day, guys, and
Yeah.
then I'll walk away.
That can happen to us.
Well, yeah, that's
What?
part of. Didn't you study this and stuff
And technology was different back then.
back when?
Back in my time, I'm studying.
Oh, okay. I thought you studied like today, like modern stuff. I
mean, this is the
misunderstood.
first modern war. Because I'm here. It's modern.
Because I'm here. It's modern.
In
You
my
had
timeline.
it until you kept going.
Yeah.
Like to say that this was the first modern war was correct, and then you had to keep going.
Help me.
So yeah, you guys do your best to kind of shake off seeing that, right? That's never fun. As he's very much just still kind of shaking, and you can hear him whispering as he gets farther away. Well, he's not whispering, but he's speaking in a very low tone, and it sounds like whispering as he gets farther away.
Can I hear what that Or is it the same stuff?
It's just him like repeating some version of "They Keep Coming" back over and over again, stuttering and leaving out words here and there. But
Who's coming back?
Well, I think he was talking about the shells, like the mortar shells. That would be the obvious answer, because like either that or bullets,
Yeah, that makes
both
sense.
of which can cause shell shock.
He takes a bite of the baguette.
I'm gonna not know what to say after you because I'm just gonna eat the baguette in silence and walk. I'm like,
Billy and Winkler, the weird friends. Are you gonna leave at any point, Sammy? Or are you just gonna kind of hang out for the night?
Nah, he knows, like, he's just kind of hang out with the fellow soldiers, like his fellow squad mates.
Do you want to say anything in particular to them, or is it just kind of like a boys' night?
Nah, he's gonna like, well, he
They're
is
having
like
them
kind of
first.
like he's just gonna hang out with them, but like in the process, he's gonna leave her with the corporal. Like, what are you reading there?
Me?
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm pretty sure it says it on the cover of the book.
yeah, I'm sure it does. He looks down and keeps reading.
anyway.
I want to look at the book and see what it says.
So it says "A Tale of Two Cities."
Okay. I'm gonna
Okay, next.
just kind of walk around the barracks, get to know other people around the barracks,
Okay, so I mean,
other
you're
soldiers.
just be mingling with
Trying to
other
get like
soldiers?
that, and trying to figure out like what it's like on the front lines, so I kind of know what to be prepared for.
Well, so all of these people came with you from basic.
Okay.
So like none of them know what the front lines are like, except maybe the sergeants.
I'm gonna just kind of walk around, get to know them.
Okay. Yes, I mean you'll meet a variety of different people. You'll meet a couple people from all over the country, and they all have different kind of perspectives on the war. The general consensus seems to be what you heard, that this isn't going to be a super difficult war. The one or two sergeants that aren't yours that you talk to seem to suggest that they don't feel like it'll be very long. They feel like even in their experience, the enemy's outnumbered. Should be a quick war. Back home for Christmas is something they keep saying.
Okay. So, what is the, like? Is everyone just all over? Like, is it all over like a general like certain like? Are they all like country or like, you know what I mean, like
No, it's like scattered.
scattered?
I mean, like some people
So-
from Chicago, some from
Sam,
South.
Sammy's gonna walk up to people on his like in his squad and be like, "You guys want to play a game we have back at home?"
And so McConnell's like, not really. And then Hughes is like, hey, yeah, maybe.
All right, cool. So he's gonna walk over to his bunk, take his helmet, put it on the ground, step about about 6 to 10 feet back. He's gonna I think of what he could take to throw. Give me a second to think of something that would be common in barracks.
Okay. Something.
Okay, yeah, no, there you go. So he's gonna get like a couple of balled up papers and really ball it up.
Okay.
He's like, this is the thing, it's back at home, so it might not be popular from, but all you do is you throw it in, and if I make it, it's 3 points, but if you make it, it cancels out my 3 points.
You just want to play cornhole?
Yeah. But like not saying the name.
Yeah,
Because it wasn't a
funny.
full thing back then. Was
That's
it?
hilarious. Yeah, I'll give you a Benny for that.
Just a fun game to pass the time.
Okay, so roll persuasion, I guess. As Sammy invents, it might exist, but Sammy plays a rudimentary version of cornhole with the rest of the barracks.
It was, but it wasn't big.
So yeah, you spend the
5.
evening. You get some interested parties. Soldiers from even like Alpha and Charlie squad start coming over. They're joining you. You know, some guy from Brooklyn's like, "This shit's the bomb," and he's like throwing the cornhole in there. You got some dude from like Florida who's like, "This is better than gator hunting," and he's like throwing them over. Everyone's having a good old time playing cornhole in the
They
barracks
haven't seen my game. Chicago kicked the rock.
of Chicago Duck. Were those bullets?
Chicago shell shocked.
Chicago shocked.
We got horseshoes in Rhode
You should have
Island.
taken Brave.
I should have. Damn it. Next time.
So yeah, that's what you'll do for the rest of the evening. You two, on your walk back, you see some other soldiers in their I almost said their underwear. That's not it. They're
I have lost it.
they're casual clothes, but they're not American soldiers. They're French soldiers.
Okay.
And as you're kind of walking, the one of them goes, "Bonjour, Americans," and then he kind of
Hello.
walks his way over. "Bienvenue en français."
No.
He looks at you kind of crossedly, and he goes,
I
Tu ne parles français?
English.
I don't speak French.
Très bien. We speak in the King's English then.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Hi.
Welcome to France.
Thank you.
Like,
How was your trip?
Oh, it was pretty good. Our friend got really, really seasick, but I enjoyed the water.
Very well.
I saw some fish out there.
Sir, can you
This
translate
guy's-
this for me?
This guy is little strange, huh?
Yeah, well, he just got food,
Eats
so
spaghetti.
it takes some time to process before he
This is
gets
pretty
to
good.
sane again.
We could I interest you in coming with us for a few drinks?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Sure.
Well, we don't have to be back on a certain time, do we? Yeah, no, yeah, let's do it.
Très bien. There's a bar around. That was German. There's a bar around the corner.
Wait a minute, you're German? Hold on a second.
I see. He goes, très bien. There's a bar around the corner. We'll go. Still kind of German, but we'll deal with it. Go over there. And so you guys do follow these French guys to a local bar. Are you going to partake in the alcohol? You're old enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
Were we allowed to drink? They said we can eat.
I'm drinking. I mean, you didn't say I couldn't do it.
Oh, when in France,
Listen,
right?
when in Chicago,
We're
they
not in
tell you to take whatever drinks are offered to you, good or bad.
That's why it's
That's why so many people die in Chicago from poisoning.
Listen, for people who don't know, in Chicago, don't drink the water.
Just period. Full stop.
Yeah, but I'm gonna drink.
Yeah,
I'll have a water for now.
So you're abstaining from the alcohol entirely, or just for now?
I'll play it out.
Okay. So Michael, are you gonna partake in the drinking with them, or are you gonna have like a reasonable limit?
No, I think I'm drinking it with them. I don't.
So you're
see
going
the-
shot for shot with this
Yeah,
Frenchman.
fuck you. Let's
All
show
right.
them that I'm better.
So roll of vigor.
All right. Damn it.
Billy, you're really good at this, I think.
Ooh,
Billy,
big
I was
numbers.
right.
Ooh,
you
big
are
numbers.
really good with this.
Let's
Billy.
go, big numbers. 14.
Billy. Oh my god.
So you and your new French friend there go shot for shot. You handled it well. He handled it less well, but still not bad.
I knew living on the streets would give me
He
somewhere.
was like, "Oh,
You live on the streets?
I'll talk to you more, and then I'll talk.
He goes, very good. Another. Another. I keep like
You
slipping
are
into
German.
Yeah, he's slipping into German. He orders another one.
Okay.
It's a slippery agent.
So if you will partake with the shot for shot.
Absolutely. I told you I'm going until I drop.
No, I can't pick you up.
Ooh, that's a 4. Thank God. Oh, that's a 5.
So you both managed to hold back the second shot quite well. Starting to feel it though. Starting to feel it.
You're looking more and more like a German. I mean,
Genetic test.
this is actually taking. You're becoming more German because I'm getting more
you're
drunk.
I don't
It's
like
like-
this.
One more. And then you both get another one, so it's -2 now.
Oh, -2. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's unlucky ones. I got a 3 or 1 -2.
Billy.
So you take a level of fatigue as you are starting to really feel it. He's like, I told you.
No, we're not
Americano.
doing one more. I'm paying another shot.
And so they pass. They give you another shot.
Fuck, damn it. Damn 1.
So you take another level of fatigue because
Fuck.
you're really feeling it now.
Billy, quit.
I'm gonna
Billy.
So,
What name?
je m'appelle Jacques Znobu.
John.
Et tu?
Chuck. Billy. You can call
You-
me Bill.
If you're going, ugh, you probably no.
Eugene.
He goes, if you're going to talk more French soldiers, you need to learn the phrase "Je m'appelle."
Jim m'appelle.
That's my name is.
Oh, Jim m'appelle Brad Smith. And pass out.
I beat the American, and then he falls off the stool.
I look at the other two that were with him, or
The other soldiers, they're still at the bar. I mean, next to him.
You're gonna hear hear Billy roll on the ground. And he goes, "Sammy, leave me alone. Don't want to wake up. It's too early for boot camp."
I'm gonna take him back.
The other soldiers go, "Je ne parle anglais."
I like wink and be like, all right.
You hear me whisper in my sleep. What does abandon mean?
Billy,
So as you're walking, one of the other soldiers just goes, "Au revoir," and then
ways back. Billy, stop. Put your hand over. Get away. All right, come on, Billy.
Let me sleep.
So as you guys enter the barracks, you hear the sounds of like, I'm going to call it ambient party noises, as you see the troops really getting invested in this cornhole tournament.
Oh, am I awake again?
No, you're unconscious. Roll in athletics. It's you versus Staff Sergeant Phelps. It's come down to the wire. As it turns out, in his travels, he's become quite the cornhole player.
While they do this, DM Lord.
3.
If I give you a Benny, can I be awake?
Yeah, it's fine.
Awesome.
I'm eating your baguette.
But
That's fine.
it's a home game for Sammy.
So
+2 to this.
while he does that,
athletics? What am I doing now?
Eugene, you feel Billy roll off. He's like, I'm awake. Leave me alone.
5, 7.
Not my problem.
So, dramatic showdown. You're both a point from victory. It's 20-20 or whatever the victory points are. He throws, goes a little wide. You throw, nails it. He throws, counters it.
Then
Got one more bag.
can Billy do something?
If Billy wants to interrupt, yeah.
Billy's gonna walk up and be like, you know, you're my best friend. I'm gonna like latch arm over Sam as he's throwing.
All right. So what was your roll -2?
5.
5. So you are able to hold, what's his name?
Billy.
Billy kind of off of you as you do like, as Billy's like falling on top of you and you're falling down, you kind of under pitch the bag and it manages to arc perfectly into the center as you kind of fall over. And Phelps kind of throws wide as he misses and you win finally.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to treat you like you weren't there.
As that's happening, the barracks kind of erupts into applause as all the soldiers are like cheering for you, like, Sammy, Sammy, as they're like,
Sammy.
slamming on the floor and everything, having a good time. The rest of the evening will kind of proceed as it has. You guys will, the cheering and chanting will stop eventually. You guys will kind of slow down slowly as the night carries on. I assume Billy went to bed shortly after.
I probably passed out
Yeah.
right after.
And so you guys are all headed to...
Just make sure Billy's turned on his side. I've turned Billy to his side.
I don't have enough food in my body to vomit.
So the next morning, you all will wake up to your sergeant. As he's just like, everybody up. You can make me a vigor roll for me, see how you handle that hangover.
Sure. Sounds like a plan to
So
me.
every success will remove a level of fatigue.
Sounds like a great plan. Ooh, 4. 1, 5. 5 minus 2, so 3.
So you don't feel you have a pretty wicked,
my
even worse than the Chicago slop level hangover.
Oh, God. This stuff hurts.
So you are all kind of roused from your sleep as you get up, start packing your bags, start packing your stuff. He goes, all right, maybe downstairs in like an hour we'll get rolling. There's buses coming to pick us up. And so you see your other squad mates of Delta starting to fold their
Billy
stuff and make
uncharacteristically
their bed and
quiet as he makes his bed.
You good?
Fuck, go away.
I'm right next to your bed.
You're so loud.
I'm whispering.
Please walk away.
Sammy, he needs help.
You guys did this to yourself.
God, you're loud too. And then I'll finish making my bed.
Not my problem. Walk out again.
Okay. So Billy kind of slugs himself out of bed, neatly makes his bed, and then you all kind of stand up together and get ready to head downstairs. Any other things to each other, or is that just silent walk?
Silent walk.
Yeah.
Billy's not going to say anything.
Billy pissed off Eugene.
Nice. Okay, so you guys will eventually head down. There are large green buses kind of waiting to take everybody to your station. And so you'll hop on, not dissimilar to the ones that took you to boot camp, and you'll begin riding through the countryside. Okay, so you all kind of gather up. You get on the buses. You start rolling out of the lovely city of Saint-Nazaire into the less fun place that you're headed.
The less fun. When you say it like that, you should say it more like this. Less fun.
So you begin rolling through the hills of the French countryside and the nice forests that are part of France's kind of geography as you're now driving your way across the countryside-ish area towards the front line. After some time of riding, you'll see a large collection of like green tents, and up atop those they have American flags like posted on the poles. But you guys don't seem to be heading in that direction.
Oh, okay.
McAllister will kind of note, he'll go, that's our main headquarters. That's where Pershing and the other commanding officers usually stay, like the higher-ups would be.
Will you ever get to meet them?
Maybe. He goes,
Cool.
not
This is
likely,
so
but maybe.
annoying. I'm sorry, Eugene. My head hurts.
Billy, I took you back. I should have left you there. But I'm better than that.
So yeah, for the first bunch of your ride, it's just French countryside, very nice, rolling hills, nice trees. But slowly, the trees and hills begin to fade out, and the ground goes from a nice, lovely, luscious green color to a kind of gray, muddled color. And as you begin to go farther, the trees go from nice, tall, foresty kind of trees to collapsed, burned husks that are just kind of on the ground as you cross from what seems to be the safe zone into what seems to be the battle zone. So yeah, you kind of scorched earth around you as you drive, and you can see all these ashes kind of floating around, and you drive forward. You pass a trench, not stopping at that trench, though. You continue driving forward until you finally reach a second trench, which is way farther up, way farther out from the city. And as the bus kind of screeches to a stop, you see this trench is just kind of muddy and disgusting. And McAllister goes, "All right, everybody, gather your stuff. We're going to head down into the trench."
I'm going to get my stuff and begrudgingly wait for other people to go first.
Yeah, so as you kind of unload from the bus, McAllister will walk you. As you jump into the trench, just for reference, depending on where you're standing, they're either taller than you or about chest height. There are like little parts that go up a little higher so you can actually shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the trench is a little taller than you are because obviously otherwise you would just get shot by snipers all the time.
That makes sense.
So you kind of come down off of that into the actual trench. The trenches, for everyone who's not familiar, they're kind of zigzaggy with the purpose so that if there's ever a fire in one trench, it doesn't just kill everybody.
Right.
And so you kind of travel a bit, you take a right, and then you take a left, and then you travel a bit. And built off into the sides are little rooms. And so you go quite a ways down the trench from where you started into a little hole in the wall where you'll see a center large table that seems to have some bowls and dishes on it. There's nothing in them per se. And then you will see 6 kind of cots that line the walls, 6 bunks that line the walls. McAllister will open the door and he'll go, "Well, here is your palace of residence." And he gestures to all the bunks and stuff. He says, "This is where you and the other 3 members of Delta Squad will be staying. Sergeant Sullivan and myself will be staying around the corner in the commander section. If you ever need us, that's where we'll be." He goes, "You can unpack your stuff, and then I need you to return to the bus and gather the rest of our equipment from the supply trucks behind it. Take your time moving that in, and tomorrow morning I should be back with our first assignment, or later today. It just depends."
Okay.
All right.
Any
Yes, sir.
questions?
No, sir.
All right, hop to it. And so, yeah, you guys, he kind of walks out to go to his station there, and you all have been ordered to unload the trucks.
I hope I don't get trench foot.
You're not gonna get fucking trench foot doing this, and I'm gonna go walk over and start
Why are you
unloading.
being so mean?
I'm sorry, Eugene.
Apology accepted.
I will talk a little bit later. 5 minutes will go by. So anyway, how you doing, Eugene?
So, yeah, you guys kind of travel your way out of the trench, or not out, but you walk your way around. Other soldiers are posted here, different ranks kind of mixed in. You see some that are posted by these large machine guns that seem to point out towards the battlefield.
I want to use one of those.
You see some others that are just kind of sitting around, on the sides of the trenches or wherever. There's a lot of standing water in the trench, despite the fact that you don't think it rained recently, but who knows. You do see a lot of people kind of there. If you take a look over the trench a little bit, you can see no man's land, which is just a flat mess of barbed wire and craters from artillery
shells,
strikes.
yeah.
As you guys kind of look out, maybe some small active fires here and there, but nothing crazy. If you look very closely, you can see some bodies kind of scattered out around in no man's land.
Oh.
That's not a pretty sight.
Corporal Reynolds kind of passes you on the way in as he's got his 2 giant crates, and he goes, "Ready, boys? We finally made it."
Ready.
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 "Oh, where's all that enthusiasm?" As he kind of like shuffles past. He goes, "Come on, it'll be fun." And then he kind of shoves past you down the trench towards the quarters that you're all staying in.
Yep.
All
Done
right.
this before.
I'm gonna stand up straight and be like, "Let's do it!" All right, and then we'll walk down.
So as you all kind of crest back up the trench to the supply trucks, where they're waiting up just a little up above the trench, you start unloading them. You can see your other squad mates doing the same, even some other members of Delta Company that you haven't met personally that are helping to unload all these trucks. Is it just silent? Like, are you guys just kind of taken aback by the reality of this, or
Yeah, I think Eugene's just gonna do this quickly so he can, rest.
Okay.
It's a lot of manual labor.
So I would like everyone to make an athletics roll for me.
Ooh, big numbers.
11.
I could be as fucking hungover as I want. 12.
Okay.
We don't have
Or,
fatigue,
sorry,
right?
10.
Nope. 4.
10.
Okay, so you all pass, some of you with a raise. So you two handle this pretty easily. You guys are able to I mean, Sammy, you're pretty used to this, and Billy, you pick up people when they're injured. So nothing new. You guys are hefting up supplies. Eugene, you struggle, but you're able to pull it off. Your basic training seems to have at least gained you that much strength
I'm getting stronger.
as you're walking. You make a couple trips back and forth.
Just to spite Eugene, I'm going to be like, I drank last night and I'm still outperforming you.
I perform where it matters. The war.
You mean with your friend Billy over the tin cup?
Is this the issue?
Is it that you have another
Yeah,
friend?
you don't give me a tin cup. Eugene, we can be good friends. I just wanted to talk to you sometimes.
We talked all yesterday.
Did we?
Well, you don't remember it, but I did. You kept talking to me about how you missed her.
Who is she?
I don't know who she is. You wouldn't tell me.
So then suddenly as you're going, you're all kind of joking back and forth about not having a tin cup and not knowing who she is, and Sammy's just there quiet. And you suddenly hear a cacophony of whistles just ring out suddenly, and they begin screeching from all directions, and soldiers around you begin to scramble.
Oh, no. It's time.
And as you turn to move to kind of figure out what's going on, the truck that you're unloading from explodes. So I need you all to make an athletics roll. Sorry, agility roll. I'm bad.
Oh, okay. That works. It works the same way.
That works better for me. You were drunk, huh?
You know what? All right, hold on a second. I'm not going to be outperformed by an
An 8.
asshole.
I got a raise.
There we go. 6, 7, 8, so 6.
7.
Okay, so all of you are in different states of disrepair, but you're able to notice that something bad is about to happen as you all kind of dive to the ground, and then the truck explodes next to you. Shrapnel flies overhead.
That's too loud. I'm done.
Yeah, shrapnel begins flying overhead as you see kind of the soldiers next to you. Just a couple of them just kind of collapse into the dirt as you see bits of metal kind of stream across their face and bits of flesh kind of tear off. And then you keep hearing this repeated whistling that precedes the explosion by a couple seconds. What do?
We should get up in.
I'm going to grab my 2 friends by the collars and start moving them back towards the trench.
Okay, so you guys, are you getting up? Or are you going to try to like?
Yeah, I'm going to get up and run.
So you grab them and start running. If everyone can make an athletics roll. So who got the 3?
Me.
So you kind of grab them and kind of shove them forward as they start running, and you're running just a second behind them.
Billy!
And then there's like a whistling sound as another explosion lands not far behind you. You go kind of flying over them into the trench. And you'll take some damage.
You can hear me yell fuck as loud as I can. Over
6.
6.
What's your toughness?
My toughness is 4.
4. Okay, so you're shaken. So the rest of your actions here will have a -2 is the way we're gonna roll that because there's not really combat.
He's the one that's gonna kill him.
So you kind of like fly over them and smack into the side of the trench wall and fall into the trench mud, and you feel kind of some feet on your back as people run over you. And you kind of force yourself back up as these two make their way down the trench. As left and right, there are more explosions kind of ringing out every couple seconds, preceded by that loud whistling.
Sammy, duck!
You see your other squad mates who are helping you, kind of running around the corner. It's like, we have to get to the bunk! And then so Corporal Reynolds kind of grabs you guys as you start running down the trench towards your bunk, or any bunk, really. And as you round the corner, you see another explosion goes off just to your left, kind of wiping out one of those machine gun emplacements. And a little, like, just spray of blood and dirt kind of covers you guys as you dip in, kind of dodge through the trench. And the reality of that's a little grim, but you're more focused on just running for your lives. And as you manage to weasel your way around, you dive into your own bunk as the shells are just pounding on the roof. So I need you all to roll a d8 and tell me if you get a 1.
I got a 1.
6.
Didn't you?
6.
That's funny.
Okay. Give me a second to roll for your squad mates. So you're all going, it's going swimmingly. You're all moving your way in without an issue.
Except for
Eugene Winkler.
Yeah, and so
signing
you're running,
off.
It's been real.
So you round the corner as the explosions are kind of pounding left and right, sending dirt and shrapnel into the air. And then you kind of round, and as Eugene goes to round the last corner, he just kind of trips over one of the mud holes, and an explosion goes off kind of next to him, not directly next to him, but next enough to him, and it sends him flying through the door as he smashes into the table. You take 29 damage.
Well, I might have to soak.
That's what Eugene says as he's flying through the door.
One Billy at a time.
Okay, so you're unconscious.
Ah!
So, yeah, an explosion hits as he flies through the door and smashes into a nearby table. The central table of the room. Roll 2d6s for me.
That's a 6.
He's out together, right?
Yeah.
11.
Okay. So as you kind of fly through the door and he smashes, you can see like there's a loud sickening crack sound as his right leg just hits the edge of the table.
All right. Without thinking, Billy's turning back and going to grab Eugene.
Oh, he's in the room with you.
I thought he went backwards.
No, the explosion flew him through the door and smashed him into your dining room table.
I'm running to Eugene.
Yeah, so you have the slow hindrance now, as your right leg has been permanently injured. Not
be
enough to
honest.
discharge you, though.
Let's be honest. Isn't Eugene a little slow anyway?
I'm actually smarter.
You're probably right. So, can I run over to Eugene and heal him?
Yeah, so you kind of dive out as you get kind of out of the corner and dive in front. So the way healing works, you will make the roll to try and stabilize him so he's not bleeding out.
Okay.
And if you do so correctly, then he is stable, but he won't. It takes 10 minutes per wound level to heal the actual wound. So you're just trying to stabilize him.
Okay. So I make the healing.
Healing, yeah, correct. Don't forget the healer trait.
Oh yeah, you're right. Thank God. No, that didn't make that much of a difference. So we're gonna let's make sure that he lives. So 9.
So yeah, as you kind of quickly run over, Billy's just been. You are Billy.
Hi.
Eugene has been peppered with bits of metal and shrapnel. As you can see, he's completely unconscious. As he's just dead silent for the first time since you met him. And he's laying on top of the table, and there's kind of blood pouring out of what seems to be a pretty obvious head wound, and then you can see that his leg is broken, or at least injured at the very least. And so you kind of begin immediately taking out your swaths of bandage and just patting them on his head and trying to keep him alive. And after a few moments, the bleeding seems to taper off as you kind of drag him out of the center of the room, just so that if anything else comes flying in, it doesn't hit him. And you kind of lean him up against a bunk, as you guys haven't picked bunks yet. So you kind of lean one up against the bunk as the barrage continues. I need all of you to make a fear check -2, except Eugene, who's unconscious.
I survived.
Is fear?
Yeah, sorry. Spear -2.
Do I apply all the other minuses?
Yes, sir.
0. That's
Nice.
6 minus 6 that I'm playing with.
Okay.
7.
7. So then, Billy, for you, you lose a point of sanity.
Oh, okay. That's what that number is.
Do you know what the starting amount is?
6.
Oh, okay. So you lose a point of sanity as the bombardment and the stress is just too much for you. You kind of feel like you didn't want to be here in the first place. You were hoping this would be quick and easy. And not even a whole 24, well, a little bit over 24 hours on the continent. And one of your closest friends from boot camp has just been nearly fatally killed. And you see tons of other soldiers just dying around you. As all your other comrades are kind of tucked under furniture and hiding in the room. As far as in-game goes, there's no real rough mechanic effect right now.
Okay.
Because your sanity has to tick all the way down for you to get crazy, but you're free to roleplay a little bit if you want.
Cool. Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of the bombardment carries on for another hour, maybe 2. And then when the bombardment finally stops, you hear a loud shouting of what sounds like a horde of men. As you see the other soldiers, the more experienced soldiers, start grabbing their guns. You see Corporal Reynolds is like, "Get your stuff, come on." Yeah, Eugene will remain unconscious for the duration.
But
unreal.
Eugene is stable, right?
He is stable. He's not going to
Okay.
go down.
All right. Pat him on the cheek. Grab your gun, Eugene, and I'm gonna head out.
Okay, so you guys kind of quickly run out to the trench and assess the situation. You see all kinds of men lining up on the wall that faces no man's land. You see the machine gun positions that are not destroyed slowly being occupied by soldiers as they're trying to quickly load the guns. And as you kind of peek over the wall, you see what seems like a horde of gray uniformed soldiers running towards you. This will be our first combat. Well, our second combat.
Or first, second combat.
First combat, new system.
Yeah,
First combat without Eugene.
party won't survive.
That's it. This is the last episode.
It's been real.
And so I believe that, Billy, you are going first as you see this wave of soldiers kind of charging towards the trench. Bayonets and guns. I mean, they're firing towards the trench also. And you see the soldiers around you just kind of popping up and beginning to fire towards the attackers.
Going on hold.
Going on hold? Okay, so then the Germans will go next. So you see this wave approaching as they're all kind of advancing forward towards the trench. Their goal is to get into the trench, as you can imagine.
No, was it? I could never have guessed.
So they advance without much issue. I mean, they're dodging barbed wire and such. Yikes.
This is what happens.
Someone someone tell Ryan to stop rolling dice.
So yeah, as you kind of guys line up, you see Private Hughes, that more timid kind of guy that's on Delta Squad. As he kind of like gets up, he like half peeks up and then goes back down and then like hypes himself up. And when he full peeks, you just see a bullet that's like hit him square in the side of the neck as he kind of clinches it and falls over into the trench.
All right, I'm coming off hold.
Okay,
Sounds like a way to save somebody.
go ahead.
I'll let him.
I'll let him.
I'll allow
It
it.
was my turn.
Not yet.
Okay,
Still
so yeah, so I'm gonna try to, I guess, like stop his bleeding quickly.
Yeah, so you'll with the medic
Medic.
perk, you can run over and make a healing roll, and if you succeed, he won't die. He'll rather just become.
Ooh, 10 and a 6. Let's go. 6. So minus 2. 14.
Okay, so you quickly run over to him as he's just fallen into the muddy trench, and you kind of quickly move his hands. You get him to stop freaking out as best as you can, and you give him like a quick bandage around the neck, and you see that it's more superficial. It's not quite as deep as it initially looked. You think maybe just the adrenaline shook him up enough to where he fell down. So you kind of help him. Well, I don't know. You're gonna help him back up. What are you gonna say?
So yeah, what I'm gonna do is after I like cover up the wound and stuff, I'm gonna push him down to the ground and be like, "Don't move, stay there." And then I am going to take a quick assessment of everything else to see if there was any more bullets hitting people.
Not this second.
Okay.
I mean, there are soldiers further down, but they're not reasonable for you to get to.
So I'm gonna basically not armbar him, but like I'm gonna like put my arm over his chest so he like stays on the ground so he doesn't try to get back up immediately.
Okay, that's fine. So with that, you'll see the line of Germans is advancing ever closer to you guys.
I'm gonna join the rest of the soldiers on the firing line and just start firing to the Germans.
Okay, you gonna once, twice? How many times you gonna shoot? I mean, it's a wall of Germans, so it's your choice.
I'm gonna shoot. Let's see how many bullets can I
Enough
get.
bullets will make it through everybody.
I'm gonna shoot about 3 times.
Okay, so you have a -4 if you shoot 3
Never mind, I'm gonna
times.
shoot twice.
Okay. So -2.
7.
So on a 7, you kind of quickly line up on the wall as you see this wave of soldiers running forward, and you quickly get out your 1903 Springfield and start firing towards this horde of Germans that is running to you. You fire like a couple shots off to try and just at anything, and you do see one kind of cleanly nail one as he kind of collapses, and you just hear him tangle into the barbed wire as his fellow soldiers kind of jump over him. You can also hear just the constant firing of the machine gun from your fellow soldiers to your left and right. And as you remember, the one that's actually on your wall, the one that's stationed on the wall of the trench that you're on, was destroyed. So you guys don't have machine gun cover. You're just trying to stop them because this is your weakest point.
Suppressive fire.
That's what I'm saying. They can't do any of that because their machine gun's gone. They got blown up by an artillery shell. That's what the other two sides are doing. But this one's just kind of you guys are just operating like Napoleonic, how you have just your rifles. And so you guys are firing as you see your line in front of you, the German line in front of you, advancing much faster than the lines to the left or right. Okay, so with that, the Germans will continue marching as they charge forward. You good with that, or?
Yeah, I was just holding so you can see
okay.
it, so you know where I'm going.
I don't want it.
Return this card.
So, yeah. So as you go, the Germans are advancing forward with ferocity, and they start to ring off just round after round in your direction. As you see, just bullets just start tearing into soldiers left and right.
I don't know if it's applicable, but just so you remember, I have bullet magnet. So there's like, yeah, I'm more likely to get hit by bullets.
Yeah, but you're currently in full cover.
That's what I'm saying. Just so you know, for this, because there are bullets, there will be eventually me being shot at. So
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
Thank you. So yeah, as you see kind of another barrage of the Germans firing while they're running, it's not the most accurate thing, but it's just meant to get you guys to duck long enough for them to get there. And as they do, another round of barrage comes through, and 3 or more of your fellow soldiers kind of collapse from the trench and from the line and fall backwards into the trench. And then you can kind of see the Germans now advancing, so they are now what I would consider at like medium range. So they're getting close. They're not quite there yet, but there's maybe 30, 40 of them compared to the 20-ish soldiers you have in your trench position. So Sammy, what do you want to do?
Well, what's around me?
I mean, anything that makes sense to be in a trench. The other soldiers are there, they're firing.
Is there any like grenades?
No, you don't have any grenades.
Like, is there around me like from another soldier?
Not unless you want to start pickpocketing.
Or like from glancing at corpses?
Give me a Benny. Do you want a grenade? You found a grenade.
Alright, I'm gonna throw the grenade.
Okay, so you're gonna roll athletics.
5.
So on a 5, you manage to figure out how a grenade works. So yeah, you kind of duck, you grab it off of a dead soldier nearby, and you pop the pin, and you launch the grenade kind of towards their front feet because they're running. So you kind of want them to run into it. And as you do, you see them pop. And much to a disturbing reality, unlike what you would imagine, they don't go flying dramatically in all directions. It's like there's a puff of smoke, and then like 4 dudes just kind of collapse into the dirt. As you see, like they fall, and their fellow soldiers kind of run over top of them, not even stopping for a second. So next is the Americans. So you then see is the sergeant of the trench kind of blows his whistle, and he's like, "Don't hold back!" And then everyone kind of opens another barrage of bullets towards the advancing German line. And as they do, you see another wave of the Germans fall as they're kind of firing, but they're getting very close. I mean, they're almost upon the trench now. And it is you, Radsmith.
Alrighty, Aphrodite. I believe. So
about 4 soldiers went down in the last barrage.
well, I want to help them, but I also want to help the pending doom. So I think I am going to look at the guy I first saved. So in order of the action I'm going to do, I'm going to look at the guy. I want
So
to
Private Hughes.
Private Hughes. I'm going to ask him if by any chance we have any like other things that are like high explosives.
He goes, "No, I don't know. I have no idea."
Snap it together.
They didn't give me any. And he kind of like, panickedly is looking around as all the bullets are raining. He goes, I remember Corporal Reynolds was our special weapons.
Okay. Corporal Reynolds, can I scan the crowd for...
Make a notice for me.
So -4, so it's a 1.
So Corporal Reynolds, you can't locate him. There's too much going on, whether it's the adrenaline, the battle, or maybe he's just moved on the trench.
Okay.
He led you out, but he seems to have disappeared.
Okay, well then can I... I'll have to... I'll resume looking for him in a minute. Can I go help the last people?
So 4 fell. You could reasonably take 3 actions per turn, but it's at a -4.
Okay. Sounds like a plan to me.
So you're at a -8?
Yeah, -8, well, -6, because I got +2.
Okay.
So, -6, let's go! 8! So, I didn't get a 0, that's good, I got 2.
2, so you get to roll 3 times.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, 2. Big numbers. Ooh, 6. 6, 12. 12, 14.
Okay.
Minus whatever that is.
-8.
And then nothing.
Okay, so I want you to describe to me.
So
you got basically a fail, a pass, a fail.
Okay, so the
And then
first
the 4th
guy,
soldier you couldn't even get to.
So first guy I run up to, and what's his wound? Just give me a wound.
So this soldier seems to have been clipped kind of in the left shoulder, or left chest, a little bit above the heart.
All right, so this one I failed. So I walked forward, and I was like in like a massive amount of shock because I'm like, all right, I have to think on the fly here. I literally took a bandage in like a ball that I had like from the other guy and I pushed it to his wound and it was like push, and then it walked away.
Okay.
So then the second one, wound random.
Right arm.
Right arm. All right. Second one, I like cut through. I take my trench and I cut through my shirt and I
Tourniquet.
Yeah, tourniquet his arm and I'm like, all right. Then pass back his gun and it's like, all right, I'll see ya. And then the third one, random wound.
Basically blown through the upper left leg, like a hole in his left leg.
I'm gonna look at him and be like, I don't have the knowledge for that, and then I'm going to fail to understand what it was, and I was going to assume it like fractured his leg. So I'm gonna like put a splint next to him, and then he's probably gonna be like, "No, there's a bullet in my leg. Please help
You
me."
didn't crit fail.
Yeah, well,
it means you tried, but it didn't help.
Well, that's what I said. I
Yeah,
tried that, didn't help. Now
Yeah,
he's now I have. That's the end of my turn.
Okay, so you kind of frantically are diving. What are Radsmith's thoughts at this moment? Like, what is?
I think I said it in the beginning, but it's frantic and needs.
Give
to...
us a little internal monologue. A little freaking out in the head.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Well, what would be the
Re-
actual thoughts? In this
Ready, everybody? Here's what the internal monologue of Radsmith sounds like at this moment. My God, was that another mortar? Oh my God, there's a bullet there. That man's down. I need to go help. Oh wait, where's what was the name of the one guy? Reynolds. Where's Reynolds? Fuck. I didn't help him. Move to the next one. Okay, next person. Leg, arm wound, tie. There goes another bullet. And then after a quick second of him helping the third guy, he goes, "I'm really bad medic."
Okay, very good.
Yeah, I like those small numbers.
Everyone. No one got above a 4.
It's impressive.
I could have.
So,
Yes.
the Germans go first. So you hear kind of one last hurrah of men like that. You know, when an army charges and they all yell. That kind of sound as suddenly their boots are on top of you. You see the soldiers kind of kicking some of the Americans as they kind of fall back in the trench, and the German soldiers, not as many, there's not the full 40, maybe it's closer to equal now, as they kind of flood into the trench and start jumping in and like firing down into the trench, and they're right up on everybody. So for all intents and purposes, they're in melee range. And I'm going to quickly have them shoot. And I mean, they are cleaning out pretty well. So up farther down the trench, not where you guys are, you see a guy deploying a flamethrower. So you see a lot of fire.
Ours or theirs?
Theirs. Starts to, the Flaffenwerfer is flying into the thing right there. Yeah, you have to say it though.
I was just making sure. Now there's a plot device. You're like, nah. Well, Eugene is not awake right now, but his spirit's there. And then
I don't know about
as
that.
the flamethrower is going off, it malfunctions.
So Peter is playing an adventure card named Mechanical Malfunction. It says a device malfunctions in some way. Guns jam, bowstrings break, etc. The device can be fixed by 10 minutes of work and a repair roll at a -2. Not relevant to this moment. So pretty
That
much,
helped.
he is going to burn this adventure card to stop the Flaffenwerfer from burning everyone alive. So actually, as you see, the German soldier kind of goes, and the first couple of spurts of fire come out. Then it just kind of breaks. It doesn't quite fire. The gas is still kind of leaking out of the front, but it's not spraying out of the front. And then he, quickly realizing that he is in trouble, goes to take it off as an American soldier just pops up and shoots him. And he kind of collapses down into the trench wearing the flamethrower. So good save there by the ghost of Eugene.
He's not dead.
Not dead.
Yeah, so you don't see the Flaffenwerfer. Now you see as the American soldiers are trying to push back, but they're just firing down. It's taking out a lot of people. Michael, just for your curiosity, there are 6 wounded soldiers in your section of the trench this turn.
Good. Okay. Excellent.
So that is their turn. Next up, everyone's low. I think it's our boy Billy down there.
All right. Can I grab the flamethrower backpack?
So you would be at long range for that. So it's on the other side of the trench from you. So you could do that. You just have to run, which means any other action you take is a -2.
Okay, that's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run over.
You are fleet-footed, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
So do I have to roll my rundown? Or anything?
Nope. No, because we're doing zones.
Gotcha. Okay. Good. So yeah, I'm gonna run over to there. I'm gonna grab that, and my plan is to find someone who is of probably higher rank than me, and then I'm going to walk over to them, and I'm gonna say, "Cut the line, ignite it, and throw it." It'll work like a bomb,
Okay.
because I believe those are filled with gas or some type of liquid, or basically it's explosive if you light it very.
I mean, even if it's not, this isn't a hyper-realistic war simulation. This is a high-action adventure game. So it will definitely work like that.
Excellent.
Okay, so I will give you... So giving it to someone is going to make them do it on their turn.
Yeah. I'm aware of that one.
I will also just let you do it. I mean, cutting it is not a huge task. It's really the throwing that is a problem.
I will be not cutting it if I can avoid it. So I'm going to try to hand it to someone unless something else happens.
So you're trying to diffuse the responsibility.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. So yeah, then you will hand it to a higher... Even another soldier. I mean, someone who understands the directions.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you kind of take off down the trenches. The men around you are kind of falling, and you realize this is quickly turning against you. So you turn and you run, and as you run, you are going to pass by several not so happy German soldiers who are going to attempt to attack you. What's your parry?
My parry is 5.
Okay. It does look like 2 of them will make contact with you.
All single shots are taken against me with a +2.
All single shots?
Yeah. So like any like a pistol, not a.
Oh
not
no,
a
they're
mag-
attacking. They're knifing you.
Oh,
It's
okay.
melee range.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Listen,
So the first one kind of swings. It does 3, so I don't think it breaks your toughness.
Nope.
The second one, 6.
That does.
So as you kind of run by, how much over?
2.
Oh, okay. So as you kind of run by, and you like dodge and weave, a German soldier kind of jumps down in front of you, and you not wanting to fight, not wanting to kill, kind of duck, and you feel his knife just drag down across your back, but it doesn't seem to really do much. It seems like he mostly caught your gear, so you feel all your medical gear fall out into the trench behind you. And as you then turn the corner, you see another German soldier kind of grab you, and he just kind of drives the knife into your shoulder, and you kind of just roll off of it and shove him to the ground as you run further down the trench. And you kind of fall face first and slide as you land next to the dead soldier whose head was blown apart, and you take the backpack and you just kind of yank it off of him. And to your left and right, it's kind of a mix of German and American soldiers, but you grab the nearest soldier, and what do you say to him?
The nearest American soldier. So I
Give
think.
it the.
So I'm
like
gonna
you're there.
I'm gonna pull him in close, and I'll
Yeah,
be
so
like,
he kind of like shoots a German soldier, and then he like
I'm gonna be
turns
like,
to you.
throw this at their line, and I'm gonna hand him the backpack, and I'm gonna reiterate, it's like throw it at a line, it'll work like an explosive.
Okay. Is that all you're saying?
Yeah. Well, no. Cut the cord. Throw it at the line.
Okay. So you're like, throw this at their line. It's like a bomb. He's like, just throw it. And you're, cut the cable. And then so he quickly grabs his on his turn, which is next. Or sorry, no, Sam is next. So he kind of grabs his knife and primes it to cut the cord as Sammy goes.
Who's around me?
So to your right are a couple soldiers, American soldiers, that are kind of half fighting forward, half fighting to their left. And then to your left is a mix of German and American
How many
soldiers
are-
flooding in the trench.
And what's like in front of me? How many more soldiers are in front of me?
Charging the line still, directly in front of you, maybe like 10.
And how many are in the trench?
You can't tell exactly, but definitely at least 20.
Is there any like around me, per se?
No, your part of the line hasn't fully broken yet. So basically, to your left, about 40-ish feet, the Germans have entered the trench. Your section of the trench, because you guys have been doing pretty good to keep them off, hasn't been broken yet.
Okay.
So they're coming very close. They will enter this turn, but they're not actually down there yet. They're
Okay.
just kind of skirmishing with you
I'm
guys
gonna-
from right in front of the trench. They're short distance. If
I'm
you
gonna
want to put
pop
range
2
on it.
more shots.
Ahead?
Huh?
To the left or ahead?
Ahead.
Okay. So roll 2 shots, -2. Okay, so you kind of start shaking as you're, quickly being accosted by the German army. There's soldiers to your left, soldiers ahead of you. You feel like the line's breaking. You've only been here like 2 hours. And you fire your shots forward. You're not really hitting anything as they're getting so close that you're more concerned with ducking your own head than you are with hitting them. To your right, you see Private O'Connell. Private Hughes is currently kind of laying on the ground. He's kind of half sat up at this point and has his rifle when they enter the trench, but he's still on the ground. So you have Private O'Connell and Corporal Reynolds is nowhere to be seen. So Private O'Connell is just kind of like, check this out. And he just like, and then you just see one in the back line, and his head just kind of like, boop, and then he falls over into the barbed wire. He's like, told you I was a good shot, as he just ducks back down. Private Hughes is just kind of, like I said, leaned up against the wall, preparing himself. You can see him shaking. He's like, fuck, damn it. As the Americans go, so the rest of your trench friends that are not your immediate squad mates just begin fighting back, giving it their absolute best. Doing pretty well, actually. So things kind of seem grim. They're slowly not doing so well. But then suddenly, kind of from behind you, where the trucks were parked, a wave of soldiers, not a lot, but it seems like maybe they were pinned down while the artillery was going on, finally rejoins the trench. So they start kind of firing down and above, and the battle is more or less even again, as the two sides are coming to head. And you guys have a little bit of an advantage because you have the trench. And you can tell that the battle is going to... This is the make-or-break moment of the battle. This is the crux of the battle.
What happened with the guy with the flamethrower?
Oh, shit. Good catch, man.
Thank you.
I, for some reason, was saying that was going to be next turn. I'll give you a Benny for that one.
Thank you.
We pan left to the other side of the trench where the heated battle between the Germans and the Americans in the trench is already happening. And this guy's like, okay, and he just kind of like pops the little nozzle off as this kind of hissing gas sound goes. And you told him to ignite it or just throw it?
I did technically just tell him to throw it. I should have told him to ignite it.
He goes, don't worry, I have good intuition. And then he ignites it with his cigarette lighter. And he's going to make a throw roll. Now, he is not a wild card, so that's the disadvantage you will face for him doing it. So he got a 3.
Okay.
So the way a thrown explosive works is if you don't get what you want, you roll a d4, it gives it a cardinal direction, and then you determine how far it goes.
Okay.
So 4. So it's going to go west. It's going to go west a little bit, so just left by 3 paces, or I think it's 9 yards. So he kind of like, and it's like you ever go to throw a trash bag into a dumpster.
I have,
It's a
many
little bit
times.
heavier than you want it to be. So you kind of like, he throws it, and it kind of goes a little left of the directly in front of you line, but I mean, it's still landing in a German line somewhere. I'll let you roll the damage of 3d10s, because it's a huge, it's a giant improvised bomb.
1d10, 5. 2d10s, 1. Shit. 3d10, 7. So 5, 7, and
13.
13.
So, it's just kind of like, and then you just hear this this loud, deep explosion that kind of shakes the trench a bit. What did you start? It was 13?
13, yeah.
So 13. Okay. As you see kind of bits of mist and like blood mist and dirt fly up into the air. And it starts kind of raining dirt back down into the trench and a little bit of blood. A little Slayer action, raining blood.
Hallelujah.
No, but it's kind of pouring back down into the trench as you guys are beginning to wind up the battle. So now the Americans are leading. You guys both go first. I believe it is Hearts Before Diamonds, so Sammy, you are up first.
Are they in the trench around me yet, or?
More or less, yeah. I mean, they haven't jumped into your trench. They're still, because they haven't moved since last turn. But they're still at short range.
Like a short range melee?
No, short range. Melee's melee.
Okay,
So it means you're firing without a range penalty.
yeah, ooh. I'm gonna pop my last shot and then just reload.
So you want to reload this turn, or do you want to just pop the shot and prepare for melee?
Yeah, pop a shot, prepare for melee.
Because as they're reloading, it's its own action.
11, sorry.
Okay, 11's a hit with a raise, so roll your damage plus a d6.
Or 10.
So not one to be shown up ever. After you see Private O'Connell, shoot that one guy, you're like, got one left. You kind of pop your head up and fire, and as you do, like a soldier was kind of advancing, and so you kind of pop up to him, and so you basically just put the rifle on his neck and fire, and then blood just kind of sprays out from behind him as he collapses on top of you. You kind of push him off and stand up as you now realize they are about to enter the trench.
Hold on a second. So is the bayonet attached to the gun or no?
Not automatically. Attaching it's a free action though.
So what I'll probably do then is I'll just look around, drop the gun, and just rip out the bayonet as a handheld weapon.
Okay. Don't you have a knife?
Yeah, but the bayonet does more damage.
Okay.
Fair.
So yeah, you kind of whip out the bayonet. I do think it has a penalty if you're just wielding it by itself, though. I think it's a -2.
There's a bonus to using it as on the gun.
There's a bonus to using it on the gun. But
Is it? No, is it?
We're gonna say no.
Okay. Because I know the
look
bayonet
for
was
next
made 6 inches so it can just touch the heart.
Yeah, well, you know. So you whip out your bayonet, ready to fight. Billy,
It's me. So, well, I'm really far away now.
you're long range from them.
Yeah.
So. And there are Germans all around you.
So I think the first thing I'm gonna do is look at the man I handed the thing to and be like, "You fucking missed!" And then I'm gonna turn and I'm going to, I think I'm gonna just run.
So you're shaken, so just think about that.
Oh yeah.
But you don't have to. Yeah, you do unshake at the start of your turn. So go ahead and roll.
Sorry, I gotta roll. 7 minus 4, or 2, right? Because shaken's not -2 now, right? We were doing -2 for the before
Oh, yeah,
combat,
yeah,
right?
you're
So it's not -2 anymore.
No, it's just your normal ones.
Yes. So 5. So 5.
So 5 unshakes.
Does my natural leader work when I'm unconscious? Probably not.
Go that way.
Night
Okay.
people.
So after I unshake, then I'm gonna go head back to the. Sadly, I'm going to head back towards them to try to help them.
Okay, so you're gonna try and run through the German line again.
Yeah, I guess. Fucking bastards. Don't shoot the medic.
So you'll run past 3 soldiers, none of which are. What's your parry? 5?
5 is my parry.
So yeah, none of them managed to hit you. They're kind of swinging, but you managed to duck and kind of dip your way through. They're too caught up fighting the American soldiers in the trench to think about what you're doing at the moment.
Excellent. And
And
then,
so you do make your way back over. So you did run. So remember that anything you do is a -2.
yep, and obviously, as per normal, I almost said Parcheesi, we are going to try to help whoever's wounded to start.
So there's a bunch now.
Wait.
I mean, let's just start with the first one, and then that'll be my turn.
So,
Okay, so that was your turn. So next is the Germans. So finally, Sammy, they break your line as they jump down into the trench and begin just going into the fray. They're going to attack you. So 2 of them will kind of quickly run up to you. Does a 5 or a 4 hit your parry?
5 does. 4 doesn't.
5 does, okay. So they kind of quickly surround you, but I don't think 4 does enough on your toughness. So you kind of, one kind of swings as you dodge, and the other one kind of swings, and it just kind of clips your pants, but it doesn't quite hit you as you kind of re-stabilize yourself to fight these 2 men. And kind of like circling as they're kind of slowly encasing you. And the Americans. The Americans make a little ground. And so one of the guys is kind of circling you, and you just see another guy, Private Hughes, just kind of comes up and grabs him and just like stabs him, and you see the knife kind of poke out through the space underneath his chin and his throat. As he just kind of like, and Corporal Hughes, or Private Hughes, just kind of drags him to the ground and throws him into the mud. So now you guys are kind of surrounding the one guy that's left. You can see down the trench, the other American soldiers have switched to short range. The officers have pulled out their pistols, and it's a full-blooded skirmish. As they're just German soldiers collapsing, American soldiers collapsing, but the German forces seems to be wavering. And if you look farther down the trench where the gas bomb went off, the Americans seem to have almost won. Like they're winning the battle. And Sammy, with that, you go first. You quickly see the battle is turning in your favor, but it could go either way at any moment.
I'm just gonna attack the guy in front of me with my trench knife.
Okay, you have a +1 because Private Hughes is supporting you.
3.
So you kind
Wait,
of
4.
okay. You kind of like drag the knife forward and swing as the soldier manages to kind of slip past you and like grab onto your shirt as you kind of just wrestle back and forth. Next up is the Americans. So as you and him are kind of wrestling, Private Hughes will take the opportunity to try and attack as well, which he will land with a 6. And so yeah, he kind of the German's kind of grabbing you and like pushing you, and he kind of shoves you against the wall, and you feel like he's encroaching slowly. And then you just see a hand kind of reach forward and grab into his mouth and kind of like pull his jaw down. And like he pulls him off of you like by his mouth almost, and then throws him into the trench as you hear kind of a crack from where he sounds like he broke his jaw. And then Private Hughes just kind of stands over him and like drives the knife into his chest like 5 or 6 times as the blood just kind of sprays up on top of him. The other Americans that are not there well, that are all around you, are doing decently well. I mean, they're fighting off the advance. They're doing a good job. Some men have started falling back to the bunker rooms and using the corners as cover, but for the most part, everyone's standing kind of strong. And the officers themselves are also like in the fray. They're not backing out. They're not leaving. They're still deep in it. You're up, Billy.
All right. So I believe my plan now is, since we seem to be winning, right? I think I'm gonna start healing people. I think I'm just gonna focus on correcting the people dying as best I can. So I'm gonna take 3 of those.
So I'm going to let you make kind of like a quick encounter style healing roll.
Okay.
So you're just going to roll your healing, and it's going to basically have like a base effect on the whole field.
Gotcha.
Because some wounds are more severe than others, and so it's less relevant at the exact moment.
17.
How extreme are you willing to go to save these people?
I'm willing to put my life on the line to save these people. So I'm willing to run out out of the trench into line of fire for this.
Luckily, no Americans have crossed the threshold. So, you rapidly just dive to soldiers, start trying to patch their wounds. You've got one guy who's like got a sliced like forearm and he's bleeding everywhere. You're kind of like clamping that, and you wrap it and you're like, hold that. And then as he's holding it, like another soldier falls like wrestling a German behind you, and the German like nicks him as he just kind of manages to drive his knife into the German's head. And you kind of like reach over and grab the bandages off the German and start patching up your guy. And there's just blood all mixed in with the trench water beneath you, but every step you take is in a direction towards someone who is wounded. And you start just applying bandages, you start tourniquets, bandages, anything you could find. You don't save all of them, but you do your absolute best. Well done. So the Germans are going to make one final attack, and then I'm going to have them make a morale roll to see if they want to continue. And Michael, your healing will basically give them a neg, because not only are they suffering major casualties, the Americans really aren't taking many casualties.
They can, I mean, they can just recruit me, just saying.
And so, yeah, as you hear, as the battle starts to wind down, the Americans are clearly winning. You see some of the German soldiers scurry up out of the trench and back towards no man's land as their officers begin blowing whistles to signal the retreat. Many of them get out, or not many, some of them get out, many of them do not. As you see, the doughboys, the Americans, are not very happy anymore. As they go to crawl out, you see some of your fellow soldiers kind of like grabbing at them and dragging them back down, and they just like beating on them and wailing on them. You see Private Hughes, as one guy's climbing, Private Hughes just kind of like drives his knife through his shoulder blade and like drags him forcibly down back into the trench and just kind of stabbing him.
Sammy's gonna probably join along, not letting people retreat.
Are you going to be like viciously murdering them or just capturing them?
No, he's gonna kill him.
I believe anyone in Delta will be answering to me. By that, I mean I will be like stopping them from doing so. Like,
So
they're leaving, and then I'm gonna
You
grab
can
them.
make a... So you're going to be convincing at least 2 people. So you're going to make a persuasion -2. And then they will each resist individually, but wait a second.
Persuasion -2.
Well, actually, I should rephrase. Are you persuading them or are you physically detaining
I'm physically stopping them.
them? Make an athletics roll.
Against both of us.
Make an athletics
You
roll.
and -2.
Oh, great numbers
This last
and great
penny.
responsibilities. Fuck, snake eyes.
Snake eyes. A crit fail.
Sorry,
With a
I got
Benny
roll.
roll.
So you guys don't have to roll.
Not only do I not help, I assist.
So he's like, guys, they're retreating as he's trying to grab you guys and pull you off. And Private Hughes is just like knife deep into this one guy. So as he's pulling, Hughes is like dragging the knife farther down his back. And then suddenly, what's your toughness?
Not high. Did that answer your question? It's 4.
Okay. So you are like grabbing them, trying to pull them back as you feel the sharp, stinging, like hot pain in your back. As you take 3 wounds.
Oh, that's exciting.
And as you kind of turn, and you're shaking, obviously, there's a German soldier who like grabbed you like while you were busy trying to save other people, and just like started driving his knife into your back shoulder. And so you and Hughes kind of turn back and see this German just stabbing your ally repeatedly. What do you do?
I'm gonna look at Hughes and be like,
So Hughes isn't even paying attention to you. He's just kind of going
so I'm gonna
full psycho on the guy in the trench.
on the guy he was killing.
Yeah.
So what Sammy's gonna do is, from past experience, he's gonna run up. He's gonna like tackle the guy.
You don't really have to run. He's right behind
Oh,
you.
he's gonna tackle him to the ground
Okay.
to get him off him. And while he's on the ground, he's just gonna copy Hughes and just repeatedly stab him in the
Okay,
chest.
so make me a fighting roll. Luckily, it doesn't have any effect on damage. So you kind of come down, and you do tackle him pretty successful. And as you kind of fall, you go to drive, and the knife just sticks into his gear on his chest. I guess he had some kind of designation that would have him carrying a lot of gear. And the knife gets stuck, and you cannot remove it. And so you see him trying to stab him, and I assume you, Billy, you kind of push him back.
I'm gonna try.
I'm gonna say because of the crit fail, you basically succeed in your want.
Oh, okay.
So you save this one German soldier.
Kick the knife away from the German soldier's hand and help detain him.
Yeah.
but
So
not-
as you approach the soldier and take the knife away, he holds his hands up and says something in German, but you can tell that he's surrendering.
Yeah.
Haha! Until he pulls out a pistol now.
Pulls out the flamethrower. The one to Waffa.
Yeah. Kills everyone in the trench. So no, he does. He surrenders, and you're able to take him in. Sammy, you're so exacerbated from the battle that you can't really do much to stop him. And so, yeah, on the way out, a good number of Germans are either captured or killed. It just depends on who they had the unfortunate pleasure of meeting. As the battle kind of winds down, and the soldiers that are now running across no man lands, you see some of the Americans just mount machine guns farther down and just start spraying into them as they're running away, doing their best to just take out as much as they can. And after a while, for the first time in the past hour and a half, it's quiet in the trench. As you all kind of just look around. You got a German soldier.
Is he my friend?
Take a
No, not quite.
Damn it.
He did try to kill you.
Can I tame him?
No.
What type of food does he like?
So you look around, finally taking a moment to collect yourselves after the battle. Except you, Eugene, you're dreaming.
I'm collected.
dreaming
corner.
He's
nice.
calm,
You're dreaming of a
collected,
coma.
and bullets.
Under a table.
No, through a table.
Through a table.
Well, he moved you, I guess. But either way,
You're by a cot.
Not even on it. Go on.
you see, in the distance there are whistles, there are sounds, but they're slowly fading. And as the final wave of the Greys steps out and begins running and is either killed or manages to flee back across the midpoint to their own trench, you begin to take it all in. You can see faces of young boys and men, mostly the same age as you, mostly the same rank as you, most of which you went to boot camp with. And you can see that all their skin has paled and their lips are kind of bluish. You can see that small streaks of blood begins to leak from their eyes and nose. And you can see that on their heads and necks, kind of, not all of them, scattered around, some of their heads and necks have these little small holes where it seems like shrapnel wounds from enemy grenades, and artillery has just kind of peppered their body, leaving them dead. You can see their eyes just kind of stuck wide open, some of them with damage to either eye, some of them just covered in mud. Some of them closed-eyed and laying face down in water.
I don't know, Sammy's gonna look around oh shit. He's not gonna know what to do.
Okay, well, what would he do? He doesn't know what to do, but what would his
Kind of
actual
just look at
physical
him,
body
look
do?
at his hands, I guess covered in blood, oh my god.
Okay, so you kind of ponder at your own hands almost in reflection of what just happened,
Yeah.
and what part you played in it, and maybe how you feel about the way you acted. What about you?
So I'm going to go find the guy that threw the impromptu grenade that I made.
I don't know that he's pick-outable from a crowd.
No? Okay.
You can make a notice roll.
Okay, I'll start with that. Notice. Oh, 6. 6. 5. -2 is a number over 12, 13, 14, 14, 15.
So how are you approaching this man? Heated? Apologetic?
Heated. I'm going to walk over and I'm going to slap him. And
Okay,
I'm
well,
going to
you turn the corner and you see him currently pinned to a wall through the eye by a bayonet.
exactly. Better. I'm going to walk over to him. I'm going to put my hand to the wall in a fist on his head, and like that, angrily, I'm going to sit there and be like, fucking could have made. I'm effectively deflecting my emotions onto this dead corpse. Why did you have to fucking miss? It was right in front of you. You could have just thrown it, you fucking son of a... And then I'm going to walk away.
Okay, so you kind of shove off his dead corpse as you walk away from him. And you're staring down at your hands. You see Private O'Connell is kind of just cleaning off his rifle, doing his best. You see Private Hughes picking up some of the trench water, trying to kind of rinse himself. Kind of shakily, he's like, "Oh God, what happened?" He's just kind of like rubbing his hands together in this dirty, murky trench water.
So I think what he's gonna do for now, he's gonna like shake it off, like snap back, pick his rifle up because he tossed it,
Yeah.
and kind of just go over to the wall and start washing.
So you guys are rinsing off in the water together, and Hughes is just like, "What do we do? What do we do?
I'm like, we just gotta keep fighting, or we're gonna join them.
What do we do?" And then,
So like, what? Oh, okay.
before you can do anything else, you hear a voice that goes, "Quit standing around. If you're not dying or dead, get up and start cleaning." And as you kind of see the other soldiers start getting up and trying to repair the trench and doing their best, a guy kind of comes up to you. He's like, "Are you hurt?
No, sir.
All right, get in that bunker, start dragging debris out."
Yes, sir.
And then Eugene, after an hour and a half-ish, you finally come to. Your head's ringing, your vision's blurry, your leg hurts.
My leg. What the fuck happened?
No one's in there. It's just you.
It's like it all like smoky and
Yeah.
or distraught.
Yeah, so the table's shattered from where your body smashed into it. There's shells all over, mud, probably a corpse or two.
Gets up, wobbles a little bit, still, I guess, not right in the head, probably a concussion. Where'd everyone go?
So as you kind of poke your head out into the trench, you just see the sign that I described where there's all these corpses laying around, all these bodies of soldiers, all these, other men basically the same age as you, and all these different things. And now you see all your other soldiers just kind of coldly doing chores. Like they're not even really reacting anymore.
They didn't go over this in the books. And he's just completely like,
So you're going to like kind of
distraught.
slump back into the corner
Yeah,
and
just
sit
gonna-
for a while.
He's gonna be like, and just lay back.
Okay, so you kind of back out, knowing you can play the injured card to avoid having to interact with the bodies directly, as you kind of sit down and reflect on the reality of what you got yourself into, or what the government got you into. And so yeah, as we pan out to the overhead of the trench, we just see dozens of bodies, Americans and Germans, matched together. As smoke kind of pillars out from the trench, and you're each given a task to complete, the war carries on. And thanks for watching, everybody. That was episode 2 of The Unlucky Sons, our mini-series here in Savage Worlds. If you liked the episode, please take a moment to leave it a heart on Spotify, 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, like on YouTube. If you ring the notification bell, then you can be summoned or drafted to our next episode, which is always fun. And as always, stay safe and check your mail.
Anyway, this week we're sponsored by alcohol. So if you want to make alcohol, you get grains and you spoil them, and then you crush them in your hand, and then you sell it to your friends.